March is ovarian and prostate cancer awareness. Isn't it great that we've got all this well-being awareness calendar so that we can actually be mindful of the things that are going around the world, the sort of things that we're celebrating, the things that we're kind of trying to implement and be more aware of. I think it's great, actually. And in this video, I'm actually going to be focusing on ovarian cancer. And it's going to be tying with the naturopathic approach, which is a preventative approach. It's an approach that you can actually look at, for example, your lifestyle, things in your lifestyle that you might be able to make some changes to, your diet. All these two aspects are within your grasp. Obviously, genetically, it is not, but obviously from a preventative point of view, if there is somebody in your family that does have cancer, then obviously trying to minimize it and putting steps in place is a positive aspect. So I'm Christina Martin of Future Health Management, and I'm a naturopathic consultant. So what is the first thing that you can actually do to start implementing these changes? What you know, from a perspective is, a naturopathic perspective, I mean, is keeping the body in a well-balanced state is one of the most important key areas to try and give the body what it needs, you know, to try and keep illness at bay. It's also important to eat a rich diet in vitamins and minerals to make sure that the body is properly protected and it's given what it needs. And it's not just that, but vitamins and minerals are part of the equation, but also antioxidants are very, very important for to try and keep things like oxidative stress, because we live in a society where we're constantly stressed, we're running around, you know, we don't sleep very well, and all this contributes and builds up in our bodies from a negative perspective. So a bit like one of the things I always say, I always equate it to is like your car. When your car needs an MOT, they change the oil, they change the filters, and they do the wheel balancing. Well, the body is no different. We need that protective aspect and that preventative protective aspect. So, I mean, cancer materializes over time, and therefore the naturopathic approach, putting steps into it to prevent it, or prevent yourself from going perhaps down the same road as a loved one, would be a positive aspect. So who's at risk of ovarian cancer? You know, women over the age of 45 are at risk of ovarian cancer. The most important risk factors are age and family history of ovarian cancer. Other risk aspects are endometriosis. This is where the lining of the womb grows outside the womb. HRT, hormone replacement therapy. Women who have been on it for 7 years or more. I mean, 1% of ovarian cancer causes are linked to HRT. I mean, obviously, if you're worried about things like this, it's always best to speak to your GP or your healthcare professional. Smoking, if there is some cancer in your family, obviously smoking is quite addictive, and trying to implement steps. I mean, nowadays they've got these patches, they've got all sorts of things that you can actually do to try and minimize your smoking, or your intake of smoking. So hormonal disruptors, we're exposed to herbicides, pesticides, you know, we drink out of plastic bottles, we go to the supermarket and our food's wrapped up in plastic. Well, one of the things that you can actually do to minimize that kind of toxicity intake is to get a BPA plastic bottle, okay, which is free of that toxic material. The other one is eating rich foods in flavonoids. Now, flavonoids is a plant pigment that has a antioxidant effect on the body. And these foods are contained in onions, garlic, leeks, chives, and sulfur-rich foods. Now, sulfur is a mineral that is really important for the health of our cell. And these foods, sulfur is contained in Brussels sprouts, in bok choy, cabbage, cauliflower. All these components together contribute to an anti-cancer effect in the body. Eating a rainbow of foods. Now this is where your food is these bright colors that we get in our foods. It's actually wonderful to see it. You know, it brings a joy to your face, really, when you're seeing like red foods, green foods, yellow foods, blue and purple foods. Now, it's funny because you've got your broccoli that's green, but you've also got a purple broccoli. You've also got a green cabbage, but you've also got a red cabbage. So implementing a variety of these foods is a great antioxidant, you know, preventative oxidant for the body. But not just that, you're also exposing your body to a variety of amino acid, to all the amino acid groups. So this is why it's important to have a variety of foods. Now, at the end of this video, I'm actually going to be implementing 2 different tables. Table number 1 will be your rainbow, a list of your rainbow foods. And you might look at it and think, well, you know what, I'm going to implement this. I haven't had this for a while. Or I like those foods, but I've never had them. I mean, you know, that's a possibility. And table 2 is going to be based on the anti-cancer phytochemicals. Now, one of the phytochemicals that I tend to use is if I'm doing a smoothie in the morning, I use golden linseeds. And not just that, but it's also golden linseeds, they have lignans, which is a natural probiotic. So for my next cancer awareness video, it's going to be based on prostate cancer. And there's a slide on the end of the video as well where you've got my details. So if anybody wants to reach out and contact me, the details will be on that slide.